All right, tell us about this thing. This is the Tritech T4, but they have a T3 and a what's the next one? T8?
We have everything from T3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, T11, T15, T15 texture unit. So,
but this is the one most people are going to want. You guys, we're all looking for 0.5 or larger. They do have the T3, which is 0.5. This one's 0.57, right?
Yep.
So 0.57 is really kind of like a 440 Titan-ish. So it's T4, if it kind of makes sense. I really wanted to show you guys how this packing system works. This thing is actually unbelievable. So he's going to actually disassemble the packing and take us through how to repack this rig. It is absolutely the best thing I've ever seen.
So this is your manifold right here. It sits right here in the front of the machine.
Mm-hmm.
So right underneath, in order to repack it, you have these 2 bolts. You remove these 2 bolts right underneath. Remove the transducer, slide that back, and take off the front face plate.
So it's similar to the Titan, kind of. Basically similar. If you guys have a Titan rig, you'll see similarities there.
So once you remove all that, the manifold slides right off.
Same. I think even the new Gracos have a similar type of thing.
So but you would want to remove the upper section here.
Hand tight, right? Hand tight.
Hand tight. Remove the lower section. You have this one O-ring you want to switch out.
Okay.
This O-ring.
Okay, want to stop right here. If you notice, these are O-ringed. All these parts are O-ringed on here, so they seal without being tightened. Well, like the other rigs, you have to tighten them to make them seal.
Then there's one more O-ring down inside there.
There's a little O-ring in there
as well.
Right.
Then here's your seat and ball.
Now, this is something I can't show you guys, but I can tell you what I'm feeling. This is way, way heavier than the other ones. Tell us why real quick.
These are made of pure tungsten carbide.
Okay.
The other machines and the other guys are they're ceramic with stainless steel coating on it, so they don't sit. They're not as heavy. They don't seal as well.
So being heavier, this drops into it a lot more solid, is what you're saying. So like the ball and seat, if you guys know from spraying, your ball and seat is, you always end up with junk comes up in your pickup, comes down here and gets stuck in your ball and seat. So a lot of times you got to take this off, which is that hand tight on this one?
It is.
And so you can take that off and rinse that out and get the junk out of there. Sometimes stuff gets past your screen, and that's where you have a lot of problems where your rig won't pick up. Mm-hmm. So they have this extra weight on here and better quality seal to take care of that. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Continue.
So now to remove the piston from the manifold, push down and out pops the upper pack.
Okay, this is the thing I'm looking at right here. Okay, you ever rebuilt your Titan, they have an O-ring on here, okay, and it's always hard to get that in. This one has a stair step on there to just hold it down. We'll go over that later in a little bit.
Okay, and that's the piston rod right here, which has a ball inside.
Yeah, typical piston, ball and seat, similar to the Titan 440, but if you notice, I don't know if you can notice in the video, but this thing's about 1 inch to 2 inches longer than the other, so it has more stroke. That means less RPMs.
Then you have the lower packing down inside there.
And the lower packing, if you notice, he just pops that out. Okay, the other ones they're always stuck in there. You have to take a screwdriver and a punch and try and knock it out. I mean, they do work good. The other rigs are good, but I kind of like this a lot. Okay.
So now, as you can see, the manifold here, it's all one solid piece.
Wow.
Manifold and filter are together.
This is all one like CNC made type piece.
This is guaranteed to never ever rust.
Guaranteed not to rust. Well,
so now,
it's aluminum or something though, so it's not going to rust. But
now reassembling, you take your upper packing, put that
look at that.
in.
It just drops in the hole.
It drops right in.
It just drops in there. You don't have to press this one in. You just drop it in.
And if you put it in upside down,
it won't work.
It will not go back together.
Because
so
it has
the nice thing about it.
It showed you guys it has that little step on there, so it's a one-way deal. You can't screw up. It's like a no-brainer.
Then you put the upper section back on just to hold.
Right.
Now we would replace our seat and we would put in our new ball. And this snaps back into place.
Okay, because it has O-rings, it just snaps in place and it won't leak.
Exactly.
So that's really amazing.
So then we have our new packing, and in the packing kit you would have some grease. You'd grease up your piston rod. You'd put your new packing, slide that back on. Slide that in there like that. And then replace it back into the manifold and hand tight only. Everything, the threads are so precisely made. We do not recommend you.
You know, if you have a little bit of paint on there, it's not going to be quite like that. You might have to clean the threads, but you kind of get it.
Now you're ready
to go. That's pretty cool.
Put it back up in your machine and you're off and running.
And this is the stuff that's really cool about this machine. Made in America, made in the USA. Let's look at that. It doesn't say imported. Where is it? Where does it say made in the USA? I've seen it. Oh, made in the USA everywhere. Okay, made in the USA. The thing about this is it's 100% aluminum case. There's no plastic garbage all over it. This is all nice and machined. You got the front of the machine here. It's lifetime guarantee as long as you own it? Is that what it is?
2-year bumper to bumper.
2-year bumper to bumper.
Including the manifold, piston, and packings for 2 years.
Okay.
And lifetime on the motor brushes.
So the motor is lifetime as long as you own it. So if you buy one of these, you could pretty much retire with it. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, this is a nice rig. These are really good. So, and they work well too. I mean, that's the other thing, they do work well. Is this interchange the pickup too with that?
Correct.
So you can change from a pour-in pickup to a siphon tube?
Yep.
Really cool. All right.
Doing any fine finish work or small projects, throw the hopper on. And any of your larger projects, homes, buildings, and drop the tube in the bucket.
Wow. Really cool. All right. Thanks for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.